Hey, this is Darren from Radar. Now, in this Closerscopy review, I'm going to be taking you through everything you need to know about the software and also why Closerscopy is making huge waves in the AI writing industry at this moment in time. So, if you're in the marketplace for a copywriting tool like this could probably be one of the best videos you're going to watch on the subject. Now, all the links to the discounts, pricing, and the timestamps are going to be in the description below for your convenience. With that said, let's get into this video and let's see what Closerscopy is all about. Before we get into the actual review and demonstration of Closerscopy, I just want to quickly go over why I jumped on board with this and why I think you should be using Closerscopy. And this is really basically what separates this tool from all of the other systems out there. Closerscopy itself is an all-in-one solution. And it's been designed purposely for copywriting and SEO. Now, on the copywriting tool side of things, which are basically the frameworks, and I'll be showing that shortly. But you've got like the ads part of it, which is the AIDA ads, direct response, emails, landing pages, sales pages, the headline builders, plus lots of other tools in there. And then you've got like the SEO tools, okay. And again, part of that's the frameworks, and then you've also got the auditing. So within that, obviously, you got like your title generators, your meta descriptions, competitor analysis, which is the auditing side of things, and the topic language, which is the NLP, which is the natural language processing, which is something that Google uses a lot of now to basically rank your content. So what it basically means is, if you're talking about a specific topic, Google expects to see a certain amount of different terminology within that page. The other biggest reason why I jumped over to Closerscopy is the fact that their AI technology is very specific to them because they've developed their own AI models. Okay, and again, these are totally unique to Closerscopy. Now, it does actually use the GPT-3 as well. So when you get in there, you can use it, but primarily the AI models that it uses are the ones that they develop themselves, and these run on their own servers. So this basically means you get no filters, no restrictions or limits on your copy, like you do with a lot of the other tools. And the other good thing about it is you can also train Closerscopy to write exactly how you want. And again, this is something that a lot of the other ones don't have. And I'll be showing you that when we start talking about the frameworks. So let's talk briefly about the pricing, because they do have a lifetime deal going at this moment in time. And I just really wanted to sort of bring this to your attention before we actually get into using the software itself. Now, this is available until the 31st of May only, and it's for their 2-year anniversary of their birthday. So basically, what the main deal is, and this is the one I actually jumped on board with, is it's this Superpower Solo, okay? And it's running at this moment in time for $297 one-time fee. Now, you can get 22% off, which you'll see shortly. But what's great about this deal is you get these three things here, which is like the unlimited side of things, which is obviously unlimited updates, unlimited SEO audits, and unlimited AI writing. Now, I was just previously talking about I have subscriptions to a couple of the other tools, a couple of the more well-known tools. One is obviously the AI Writer, and the other one was SEO Surfer. And between the two of them, they cost me just over $200 per month for that subscription. And neither of them are unlimited. Jumping on this deal for $297, I paid $203 something because you get the 22% off. So in the UK, it was about £185. But I basically paid that one-time fee. I now don't pay anything else. So it's an absolute steal when you consider how much you'd be paying for the other tools. There are a couple of other options as well if you want more seats for the lifetime deal. So if you get 3 seats, you can pay that in installments. Either one-time fee of $497 or 3 installments, and you end up paying $561. But that gives you 3 seats, but you still get all the unlimited things. or $697 for the one-time fee, or 3 installments, total of $741. Now, to get the 22%, what you do, you come in here. If you stay on this page for a long time, then it'll pop up, or you can try and exit the page, and you'll get the exit pop, which you get here. Okay. And all you need to do really is put your name and your best email address in there and unlock my discount, and you'll get the discount before you pay. So that basically gives you 22% off. Now, if you miss out on this deal, because if you jump on board after the 31st of May, it's still like a decent deal because their monthly options are still cheaper than some of the other ones when you consider what you actually get. So again, at this moment in time, for $80 a month, okay, assuming you miss out on the deal, you still get all the unlimited updates, SEO audits, and AI writing. But for $80 a month, or $79.99, you're basically getting 3 seats, so two, you and 2 other members. Okay, again, so I mean that's an absolute steal when you consider I was paying like over $200. I still am actually paying $200 a month, but they will be getting cancelled this month. One of the good things that I really love about Closerscopy, which a lot of the other companies out there didn't particularly do this, is their help section. Now, when I sign up for these kind of softwares and training programs, things like that, I like to know that they've got a help section because, you know, when I start using it, I want to be able to go in there, watch the videos, learn how to use it, and basically start getting the value for money. Closerscopy's got an absolutely fantastic help section, okay, and they call it the official course. So you basically go, obviously, from welcome all the way down to examples, and it teaches you everything you need to know about Closerscopy itself. So if you want to learn about anything like, I don't know, Longform Editor, for example, you've basically got all of the videos here and obviously all the content, which tells you exactly how to use the program. They've also got an absolutely fantastic community, which is really active. I mean, there's over 12,000 members in it. In the main dashboard of Closerscopy, you can see that it's a relatively simple system to use. It's not really overcomplicated, and you've essentially got just a couple of things to do. You create a new project. So these are all your projects here. Obviously, I've created these primarily to do the review, to kind of show you how it works. So what I'll do is I'll just create a new project here, and I'll call it dashboard. And then we'll go in there, and what you'll do, you'll see you have no documents yet. Click the new document to create one. Create a new document, and then we'll call this dashboard again. And then we'll open that up, and we'll go into the main dashboard itself. So as you can see, it's quite a easy, nice laid out dashboard where you've got like the navigation across the top here. These are all the text editor buttons here, and then down on the left hand side you've also got all of the actual software. So you've basically got the SEO auditing bit of the software here, which will be showcased a lot later. There's Compete, which is actually going to be discontinued shortly, which is basically SEO's. It's replacing that. You've got the Longform Editor, Frameworks, Workflows, and Insights. They'll be the main buttons that you'll be using. You've also got libraries, which are going to be your own libraries, and then you can download. And obviously, this here changes the theme color. So whether you're working on, you know, daylight or nighttime, full screen and save, and then you go back to your documents. The Longform Editor works in a similar way to the majority of the Longform Editors work out there, but it does have a lot of differences as well. So to get into the Longform, you go over to the Longform Editor there, and it brings up, you know, the actual tool here on the right-hand side. Now, what I want to do is I want to show you there's a few tools here, okay? And what it does is it will create various different outputs from the things that you put in here. So if you want like a tutorial or introduction or something like that. But what you need to do is you need to put a brief inside here. So what the brief is, you're just going to tell the AI what it is that you want to do. So I've got a bit of a brief here. So basically, want this post provides step-by-step instructions on how to brush a golden doodle. Now that's a brief. So that's just telling the machine what it is that we want to do. So we can then sort of create various different things from that. So if we if we click on something like tutorial, what it will do is it will give us like the output here. So obviously we've got 4 steps here: find a perfect brush, pick up your brush, brush the hair, and clean the brush out. So it's kind of giving you that step-by-step tutorial. And as you can see, like the output's like really good. The transition button is basically when you want to kind of transition your blog post into something else. So when you're talking about kind of like one topic and you transition into another, you get like these transition words. So you get like moreover, additionally, in addition to, furthermore, or condition, if, unless. And what this does, this expands on what you've actually written here. Now, the way in which the Longform Editor works in Closerscopy, wherever your cursor is, it will only read anything above the cursor. But I'm going to show you these additions here. So if we click on, if we put a cursor there and then click on moreover or additionally, we can go on and additionally, what it will do, it will start generating the AI again. And it gives us a little bit of extra content. So additionally, there are also several colours and markings that are available in this breed. Golden Doodle is generally smaller for the standard poodle and larger for the golden retriever. So it's kind of giving you additional content. Now the right side of it here, again, what happens is you can put your cursor there and click on write for me and it'll expand. Or you can highlight that, right click it and click expand, or you can put your cursor and do Control and Q. Either way, it will start the AI generator. Now this section here is what's called content. And what happens is when you put something in here, what the AI will do, it will read this first and it will use that before it starts using this information here. So if I take this context here, put it in, this basically says golden doodles can be any colour depending on which poodle was used in the breeding. So I'm kind of talking about colours, and I want the AI to specifically write something about colours, but also obviously keeping it on the topic of golden doodles. So we can either highlight that or put the cursor there. So I'll just put the cursor there again and click write for me. So the output that it's actually given us are based really around, like the brief that we put in here is about the colours. So this one's all about the golden doodles are golden. This one's a little bit off topic because they're talking about being silver. I don't think golden doodles are silver. But then we've got this one down here. They've got 3 different colours, yellow, white and black. And the colour of the golden doodle depends on the colour of the poodle that was used in the breeding. Okay, so when you put a little bit more of contextual brief in there, that's when you want to talk about something specific within the document. So if you had information about dates, times, anything that's really specific to what it is that you're talking about, you'd want to put that in there, and then that would train the AI writer to basically go out there and get the information or create the information based on, 1, the document itself, but 2, the actual context that you put in here. So you're pretty much sure that you are going to get the right data that it actually gives out. Frameworks in Closerscopy is something that really makes the whole thing come together. And basically, frameworks are a set of templates that give the AI instructions of what to do. And in order to get those, we head over to frameworks. We click on frameworks, and basically what we can see is all of the frameworks that Closerscopy have created in order for you to create your documents. So to give an example, I mean, obviously, like your framework would be something like, your blog outline, for example, and pretty much really what we've just been doing in the Longform Editor. So, you click on blog outline, and, you'd put something in, write an outline about building a camper van on a budget, and you click on write for me. And then it basically gives out, the output, and you add that to your document. And that's really essentially how all of these AI copywriters work. Now, one of the great things about Closerscopy is one, obviously, you've got all of the frameworks that Closerscopy's created. You also got community frameworks. Now, community frameworks are basically, obviously, people within the community of Closerscopy. They create their own frameworks based on what it is that they're doing, obviously, with the software. And again, like the frameworks they're just basically a set of commands that you're going to tell the AI what you want it to do and how you want it to do it. And I'll be showing you shortly how you create your own frameworks. So basically, as we look down here, you can see all of the frameworks that people have created. So to add them to your list, you basically click on the plus. So we'll have a look at this, X ways to do something. So this is going to say 8 ways to do whatever it is you want to do. So we'll click on that. That's now added it to our list and it will pop up here. So basically what you're going to do, you're going to give it a question, okay? And it will show you the example here. So you can click on the example and it will give you an example. Basically, that's just telling you how framework was created, so how you actually ask the question. So if we say something like 6 tips on how to tell a girl likes me, click right for me. So then that really gives us all the information that we inputted the question and it's given us all the answers. So this is really how he's created the output. The other feature that you've got within frameworks is actually creating your own framework. And basically what you're going to do, you're going to train the AI writer to write something specific or give it specific commands on how you want something to be created. Now, what I've done here is I've created what I've called the rich snippet framework. So if you want to create like an answer post within your particular niche, you go out to Google and basically find out what the format Google is looking for, when you're getting that rich snippet. You can then train the AI writer to generate the content, pretty much how that's done. And it's done in this particular way. So we've got like question, how long does it take to cook rice? And then this is the answer. And this is really how Google is giving me the answer. And again, we've got a question, how long does it take to boil an egg? And answer 4 minutes. So again, this is how Google was showing me. And this is what you do. So you basically train it. So if you give Closerscopy AI a load of examples, and again, the better your examples, the better output will be when you basically click generate. So to give you an answer, so this is one that I created here. So we'll click on that, and I'll clear the input. So the example question that I put in was, how long does it cook? How long does bacon take to cook? So it's basically, that's a question that you're going to ask it. So we'll just click on that and we'll click on write for me. And then the output that it gives me is obviously like the answer. The cooking time depends on the thickness of the bacon. Thicker cuts will take longer than thinner ones. You should check after about 10 minutes for the thick one cuts and about 15, 20 minutes for the thinner cuts. And you can basically ask it, pretty much anything. So if I ask, how does an air fryer work, and click write for me, then it basically gives me that straight answer. The top section of a hair fryer holds a heating mechanism and fan. You place the food in the fryer, and that, it kind of gives you the information that you need. And that's like a very basic example of what you do. Now, I'll show you exactly how you. So basically, show you how this rich snippet works. And I'll click on the Edit tab, and you'll see basically how it's constructed. So obviously, I've called it. The name is going to be the answer snippet, the category cooking niche answer snippet. And the creativity, I put it down to 45. Now, the creativity means how specific it will be. So the lower the creativity, the more specific it will be. Length of characters around about 1,000 characters, and the order is 3. So the order is basically how many results it's going to give you. The description, this is going to be for your own benefit here. So this basically tells you what it is. So you can either say enter a question to get the rich snippet answer, and I'll show you what that means in a minute. And then from here, this is where you put the instructions. So this is literally everything that I wrote in the document. It comes down and then you put the final one. So you need this input 1 here, okay? So it's question, input 1, and then this gives us the example. So you've got input 1, how long does it cook bacon? So all of that information there is basically training the AI on what I want and how I want it to write. The workflows part of Closerscopy, again, is another piece of the puzzle in how it will work. And basically, a workflow is a collection of frameworks that you put together to create your project. So basically, what we just went over there, when I created a framework for creating my rich snippet, when you think about a framework, okay, the blog workflow is all of these frameworks put together in order to create our blog. So you've got the title framework, intro framework, outline, and conclusion. And when you want to create your own workflows, what you do, you'd either create your own frameworks, if you was creating obviously like a specific sort of blog post, sales page, email, whatever it was that you're creating. And then what you would do is you piece them all together. So if we look at workflows, we've actually got one created here that I've taken. Obviously, the creator, Nico, I've created all of his ways in which you create a blog and put them into the workflow. So obviously, you've got step 1 through 11. Now, if you don't have anything here, what you do is you would create on new, and then you do a search for whatever it is that you're going to be creating. Again, if you've already created yours, if you've already created frameworks, they're going to be listed here. So you see my rich snippet ones, it's there. So if you're going to do like blog frameworks, for example, you do a search and it gives you all of the frameworks there that you're going to put into your workflow. And I'll show you how this one was constructed. It gives you a better idea. So obviously all of these ones here are the ones from Nico, and I've basically put those into my flow, and that's how I'm going to create my blog post. Now, when you load these in there, you can have as many as you want and all different ones that you want, depending on what document you're creating. And these can be moved around as well, in order of the flow. So then what that does, that gives me this work through here. So step 1 through step 11. And all I do is then I fill out all of the information that it's asking me to. So understanding how frameworks work will give you a better idea of how the workflows work and how you can actually create your own workflow. And we're now going to be using this workflow to generate a blog post. So in this part of the Closerscopy tutorial, I'm going to now create a blog post using the workflow that I created and also the Longform Editor to expand on things. So we're going to go over to workflows, and I've already started sort of creating the blog document, and I've chosen the topic of how to train for an ultramarathon. So you basically put your topic in there, and this will generate like the headlines for us. So we'll click on write for me. So these are the examples that it's given us, or these are the headlines that it's given us. So how to train for an ultramarathon, 8 essential steps. Ultramarathon is an excellent way to keep your fitness levels on point. Well, that's a specific ultramarathon. Leadville Trail 100 Marathon. So I'm going to go for this one, like how to train eight essential steps. So we're going to add that, and then we'll then basically go to step 2. So it's going to ask us for the hook, and it's going to ask us for the headline, okay? So we'll take that main headline for now and go into step 2. We'll drop that down there, and then click write for me again. So this is basically generated a few hooks for us. I quite like this one for an ultramarathon runner. The race is the ultimate test of strength, endurance, and skill, but there's more to preparing for an ultramarathon than running miles upon miles of pavement. So I'm going to add that one, and then we'll go to step 3, which is the introduction. and it's going to ask us for the headline again. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the main headline in now. So the introductions or the intros that it's given us is they're quite good. I've got a quick read of them. Are you ready for the challenge of an ultramarathon? Or maybe you've already had one under your belt and would like to build on your time. So that's all on topic. And then we're going to go on step 4. Now, this is where we're actually now going to put the main title in, because I want these 8 essential steps. So we're going to put that in, and then again, we're going to click Write for Me. So again, the output that it's given us is pretty much on point. This way, it's given us like 11 steps on this one, so it's not quite the 8, but we can use those and chop and change them if we wanted to. But this one's got 8, but it's got learn to run, walk, and swim, which not really ultra marathon because you don't swim in it. I actually like this one here, so I'm going to add there, and that's really going to give us our outline. We're then going to go to Nut Graph, and again, we're going to do the 8 essential steps and Write for Me. So that's giving us some quite good data as well, and I like that one there, so I'm going to add that. We're then going to go to step 6. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead now and I'm going to add all these in because you can basically see what I'm doing. It's like literally you click on each step and you're just filling in the details and then it's giving you the content. Okay, so I've basically gone through and I've completed all the 11 steps. And the software has basically generated a big article for me at this moment in time. It's got, if you see down here on the bottom of the screen, I've got 1,248 words, okay, and it's gone through all the way from the title through to the meta description that it's added, which is obviously all about how to train for an ultramarathon. And then obviously it talks about a product that you could probably promote. And obviously it gave a call to action as well. Check out my free guide, the ultimate guide to running your first ultra. Now, I basically read through it all, or skipped through it, and it's pretty much on point. Okay, it's talking all about ultramarathons, how to prepare mentally and physically for them, to prepare for an ultramarathon, several key points, etc. So it's really giving me some pretty good information and content, with just the clicks of the button. So, I mean, what I would do now is obviously I would go through and I'd format it and, do all the necessary things that I need to do to expand on that. But the point of the actual tutorial is just to show you, sort of how easy it is to create these things using Closerscopy. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to use the information that I've got here and we're going to go into the SEO side of it. And I'm going to take this title and we're going to the SEO. So what the SEO does, okay, it's going to do an audit for us and it's going to tell us obviously one, what our article's like, and 2, how we can get our article better so that potentially we could rank. So we're going to put the query or the title that we're going to try and rank for in there. And what it does, it gives us basically, it gives us like the top 10 results, obviously from Google. So we're going to choose a minimum of 3 to 5, and then we're going to click on audit. Now you see it says our NLP servers may take a little minute. Now what this is doing, this is now gone and it's gone and checked on all of those ones that I've chosen to do the audit with, and it's basically giving us a score on our article here. So in order for us to rank, we've got like a word count here. So we've got 1,248, but we need around about 4,800 to 5,800 words. Okay, so we know that we've really got to flesh this out an awful lot. So the idea of what I just showed you in the previous section is to create your first draft of your article. And now, obviously use Closerscopy more, obviously the tool that we've got here, and go back in and flesh this content out. But what's more important is we add all of these NLP keywords here, because these are the keywords this is what Google is expecting to see in our document. In order for us to rank, we need to get this score up to, you don't really want to be 100%. But as we can see, obviously, we've got no headings here or anything like that. So we can just literally go through now and start. So basically what I've done, I've just added, obviously, a H1 and then made these H2s. And that's basically what I've done. So it's now basically saying that I've got 9 headings. I still need 58 to 69 headings. Obviously, the word count is still about the same. The paragraphs I've got 31. I need at least 109. But the score is slowly creeping up. Okay, so we've gone to sort of 12. Now, if you look at these here, I haven't got because Google expects to see ultramarathon as all one word, and the majority of the ultramarathon I've got here is in like broken words. Now, I've written blog posts in the past about ultramarathons, and it's quite difficult because sometimes you put a hyphen in, like up here. Sometimes it's like together, and sometimes it's like split apart. But this is telling us that Google wants to see it like this. So we need it. I mean, we've only got it 2 times there, so we need it at least 45 to 62 times. So I would just go through there and just to sort of show you, I will put. So obviously all I've done is obviously just copy and pasted ultramarathon. So if you know anything about, how you used to rank websites years ago, that's kind of like what you do. I mean, not as obvious as that, but you do what they call keyword stuffing. So obviously, I highly don't recommend you do that, but it's just to show you that obviously it now comes green. So I've got ultramarathon 51 times within my document. So, you would go through and you would then do all of this to try and do the on-page SEO on your document and get it as close to 100%. I think the sweet spot's probably around about between the yellow and the green, or, halfway between yellow and green, and then kind of see how it ranks. But that kind of shows you, the power of what Closerscopy's got within its toolbox, because this is all in-house, so you can create your document and then you can do the SEO score. The final thing we're going to be looking at is the insights. Now, basically, what the insights is it's going to check our document basically for the insights, emotions, densities, spam, and NLP. So when we basically like check on, we checked on run the test. It's telling us that the readability is like grade 7, which is good. Okay, and then we can like go through the emotions, check emotions, and it's kind of like giving us, obviously also it gives us all the emotions that you're doing. So trust, surprise, sadness, joy, fear. You got like the spam. So we'll check the spam. No spam detected. So obviously, that's like, trying to get people to click links or whatever it is. And obviously we'll go to the NLP and check the NLP. And this basically gives us the score of the NLP. As you can see, Closerscopy is like a really powerful tool, and everything that you've got inside it, including the SEO side of it and the insights, it really gives you like a strong edge on being able to create fantastic copy, but also fantastic blog posts that potentially you're going to be able to rank for. Obviously, if you follow all the right principles of writing blog posts and SEO. I'm really impressed with the tool, and I wish there were a few things that I could find about it that I could honestly say, do you know what, it might be a deal breaker, but there isn't. I've used a lot of these SEO tools, including things like Jasper, Word Hero, and this really, really does knock it out of the park. And I think it's well worth the investment. And if you're lucky enough to get in on the deal at this moment in time, then you're going to have a fantastic piece of software for the right price. That's everything for me in this review today. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon in another review.